Hello, year four. How are you all? Hope you're doing great. We're going to continue our revision of the biomes. We're going to talk today about two biomes, the deciduous forests and the tropical rainforests. We're going to start with the deciduous forest, those beautiful kinds of forests with all the colors the trees have. The forest we're going sorry the deciduous forest we're going to talk about first. The rainfall in the deciduous forest, it rains all year round, and that's why it has lots and lots of trees and of different types and plants. The temperature in the deciduous forest, it's cold at the winter and it's warm in the summer, so it's pretty much a very balanced kind of temperature. It's cold in the winter and warm in summer. Now we're going to talk about the living things that we might find in the deciduous forest, whether they are plants or animals, and how both of them adapt to the type of weather that the deciduous forest is in. So the plants first, we have the trees. They lose their leaves each year. In the autumn, it gets yellow, as you can see, and it falls each year. And the leaves of the trees, they are very broad. What's the meaning of broad? It means that they are large in order to take in as much sunlight as possible. Do you remember when we talked about the types of leaves in the desert biome? We said that they are spine like, and this is their adaptation because they do not want to lose water. But in the case of such moderate weather, such as the found in the deciduous forest, you will find that the leaves will be broad to get as much sunlight as possible. So this is an oak tree, and this is how the leaves of the oak tree look like. It's very broad, very wide, to get as much sunlight as possible. And the other type, or another example, is the maple tree. This is the tree where we get the maple syrup that we put on our pancakes from. So as you can see, it's also broad or wide, to get as much sunlight as possible. To talk about the animals, and one of the most famous animals in the deciduous forest is the raccoon. And the raccoon has specific features that you might find in its body that will help it survive living in the deciduous forest. As you can see, the deciduous forest, it's a forest, so this means that it has lots and lots of trees. So the animals that will live in the forest has to be a very good tree climber, and this applies to the raccoon. So the raccoon has specific features that help it live in the deciduous forest, as I said. The first thing is the raccoon, they are nocturnal animals, so they are active at night. They move around and they find their food, and they move to their shelters at night. And that's why they have excellent sense of night vision and hearing, so it would help them move around in the forest at night. Next, that they have thick fur, of course, because it gets really cold in the winter and at night, so it keeps them warm during the winters. And the last thing, that they are of course excellent tree climbers, as I said before, because as I said, there is lots of tree in the deciduous forest, and they will have to survive living up in the trees, and that's why they are excellent tree climbers. I combine those all of those pictures for you guys. Those are pictures of different types of animals that are found in the deciduous forest. You will find that most of them يعني they share some stuff like the thick fur. They all have thick fur, and this is because they have to survive the winters. And they also have this color. They are all brownish, yani blackish brownish colors. This is because they have to live in a place where there's a lot of those types of colors. It's a type of camouflage. And some of the birds, like the owls or the woodpeckers that live in the deciduous forest, they tend to migrate. And what is the meaning of migration? They tend to go to warmer places or travel to warmer places during winters to find warmth in those places. So this is a type of adaptation too, that the birds tend to migrate to a more warm place. And you will find that something like the squirrel and the raccoon are very good or excellent tree climbers, because they build their shelters up in the trees. So this is all the information about the deciduous forest. And now you have enough information about the types of adaptation that the animals and the plants of the deciduous forests um, uh, that you might find in them. That will help you. If I give you any example of any type of animals, you can tell me easily how do they adapt in such weather. Thank you guys, and please check out the next video about the tropical rainforest.